Why don't we start with a call to order, please? Roll call.
Mike Davenport.
Here.
Sherelle Fuller.
Here.
Dan Nicholas.
Here.
Gary Pavasich.
Here.
Rick Pavanato.
Here.
Joanna Vasquez Drexler.
Here.
Thank you.
Sounds like we have a quorum. Next item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. So we all get to stand to do that. And I guess we're going to get a flag right here on the screen. Wow. Not seeing the flag.
Rod's getting it up here in a second.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
The flag
of the
United
United
States of
of
America
America,
and to the
And to the
republic
for which it stands, one
One
nation,
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
with
liberty,
liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you for that. Next item is student perspectives. I don't think we have any of our student members online here with us, though, do we?
No, I
I get
thought Haley was going to join, but I don't see her right now, but she might pop in later.
All right, well, if she does, we'll make room in the agenda as we move along. So item number 4, reception of visitors. This is the first reception meant to talk about any of the agenda items. Do we have any comment, Hank?
We do, and just a reminder, we put up a Google form at 8 a.m. the day of the board meeting, so for these virtual board meetings, people can participate. The link is bit.ly/D99-BOE-public-comments, and that's listed on our website as well. We have one public comment, but it's for the second reception of visitors.
Okay, so we'll back up just one spot here, back to student perspectives. I see Haley just joined us.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
So if she will unmute, yes. And
Hi.
Hi, Haley.
do you have anything you want to share with us tonight?
I was just going to talk a little bit about e-learning so far. I think that students are enjoying e-learning a lot, actually, because it's really flexible. You can work when you want to, or like pick what days you want to do what subject. The only thing, though, is it's really easy to get distracted at home. But I think maybe with like the office hours that are scheduled for this week and having like a block schedule, I think that'll help a lot. So I'm excited to see how that'll change like e-learning or moving ahead. But besides that, we're not really doing much.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for that feedback. Moving on to recommendations and reports of the superintendent. Hank, take it away.
All right, our first item is textbook recommendation for next year. There's 2 textbooks that were shared with you last month. Since then, we haven't received any feedback or comments from the public or any board members. They're up for action later on this meeting. This is the last opportunity for board members to ask any questions before the action item. So just checking in to see if there's any questions for Gina or I before later on we vote.
Oh, I don't have any.
Nope.
Sounds like we're all good, Hank.
All right, the next one is tennis court resurfacing at North High. I'm going to have Rod open the memo here on that, and then Jim's going to give you a little bit of the background on this.
Everybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay, this is for summer capital work for this coming 2020 summer. It's for tennis court resurfacing at North High School. We had 3 bidders. Scope of work is resurfacing of the 10 courts at North High. Prior to getting a scope for this work, we hired ECS Midwest to do a subsurface and geotechnical engineering analysis to find out from their expert opinion what we should do. Should we resurface? Should we redo the entire thing, including the subsurface? Based on their findings, the borings that they took found underlying base structures. So their recommendation was not to tear off, but to use this glass grid crack mitigation with an asphalt overlay. So the plan is to put this glass grid in the cracks and stress-related areas and then resurface it with an overlay. They're saying that this is 4 to 8 times stronger than traditional paving mats, so we're taking the recommendation, and White feels the same way, and so do we. So the contract we're seeking for approval tonight is within our budget for this year, and we scope reviewed the contractor, and they met our bid proposal. So we're asking the Board of Education tonight to approve the lowest acceptable bid, which is Abbey Paving, in the amount of $262,000.
All right, so any questions for Jim?
Yeah, I have one. Jim, any warranty for this glass grid product?
Yes, we have 10 years on it.
Excellent. Excellent. So this sounds like the way to go, and as it turns out, less expensive than replacing all the asphalt that's out there, correct?
Yeah, but if we would have done the subsurface and CA6 stone and the whole works, we would have been $500,000 and up. So I think this is a good remedy for the situation that they have. If you remember, back in 2009, 2010, we actually did that work. So that's holding up. It's just that upper 2 to 4 inches that's been showing the cracks.
Perfect. Perfect. And they'll work around the tennis or the fencing somehow. How does that work?
They are, and we had some alternates for fence repair. They're going to do the repairs in the sidewalk to make sure that it's level and even with the new surface. But we also had some alternates for the windscreens and some fence repairs. I might take those because we're still under $300,000 for our budget. So working with North to see if we're going to do some work outside of just actual courts.
Okay, nice. And then the color of can they get a purple color for their pavement like we have blue at South?
No, North High chose green.
Okay. Sounds good. Any other questions? All right, moving on then, Hank.
Master facility plan progress. Jim's going to report out on that because Ed, Janice, and I have been spending most of the last 2 weeks figuring out teaching and learning. So he's going to report out, but I do want the board to know and the public to know that we've been maintaining the Master Facility Plan website with our Facility Fridays. And Jill's done a wonderful job of getting a lot of images, video, and even 360-degree camera views up there so the board and the public can take a look at what's going on in those sites. So both Ed and Janice have led walking tours, video walking tours for their students and families of the construction sites as well. So lots going on right now. We're out, but the construction's going on. So Jim will provide some more updates here.
Okay, thank you. So last week with spring break, we had already confirmed that we were going to do some asbestos removal. We actually did a little bit more than we thought, which is good. So we knocked some off that we had planned for the summer. So all that work was done over the spring break last week and completed, and all went well. So there was no hiccups with that. So very good. Both schools had asbestos removed. So at North, work continues on the Phase B gym, kitchen, and loft addition. If anyone's drove past there, you'll see the exterior brickwork has been done, and they actually poured the gym floor slab in the last couple days. So a lot is going on inside that Phase B gym area with the kitchen and loft. The home bleachers, the piers at North have been completed, and the visitor bleachers started today. So we'll be working at South on the bleacher planks. They're actually out there working even as I drove in from dinner. So those are looking phenomenal, and then they're going to head over to North once those are complete. So at North, visitors starting today, and then they'll be there within a week to start the home bleachers. Piers are completed. Lastly, at North, for Phase C, Prince Street Courtyard was trees and shrubs were removed, getting ready for that work to come in the summer. On the other side of town at South, Fine Arts Addition keeps moving along. Their wall framing, they're installing glass on the curtain wall locations. Also, the installation of those home bleachers are, they're really looking good. Actually, the press box is a week away. We've seen it. It looks great. So they'll be bringing that in to finish up. And then obviously in the summer, we'll be doing the squad rooms. Phase C work at South, auditorium work, we're actually mobilized and starting to remove those lights that we're bringing over to North. So we're starting that work early, which is great. And then also for Phase C, the Learning Commons, the courtyard demolition has started over at South. So lots going on. And right now, all contractors are still coming and on site and to work. One of the things that we are now mandating our contractors to do is wear something over their face and gloves and their nose. So that started as of end of last week.
All right, any questions for Jim? All right, thanks so much, Jim.
Sure.
All right, scheduling of educational tours. This is an area where Gina has been spending a lot of time over the last couple of weeks. As you know, many of the tours have been canceled. Gina's provided you a list of those, and we're in the process of rescheduling a lot of those. There's an action item tonight that authorizes Gina to work with the companies to reschedule these tours so that she can go and do them. You're authorizing her to make those changes as long as they don't result in infringing on a school day. Remember, the real reason these come to the board for approval is two purposes. One is insurance purposes. So that's one area of coverage. And then the other is school day. So the board is kind of authorizing Gina to do the insurance portion piece to just make sure they're approved and rescheduled. If it infringes on the school year at all, she'll come back to the board. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Gina to talk a little bit about what she's been doing and what this looks like right now.
Okay, thank you, Hank. So at the start of COVID-19, we had actually 7 tours. One that was scheduled to go out over spring break, which was canceled, obviously. Another one that was scheduled for June that we've already canceled. Both of those tours involved either orchestra or band, and they involved performances, and that's why they cannot be rescheduled. The 5 remaining tours are all for June, as you can see. And we are working, and when I say we, I'm working in coordination with our teachers, the organizing teachers, what we call our tour directors, as well as the tour companies, to try and reschedule the tours. Most of them we're guessing probably for next June, but we're looking at alternatives and really trying to do it in a way that the majority of families can still send their student. Looking at it in a way where if families do have to cancel, they lose the least amount of money. All of these tour companies have different policies, and our families sign contracts with the companies. And depending on when the cancellation occurs and when the tour is, it can be very different. I have been in communication with several of the tour companies, as well as I said, all of our teachers, in trying to mitigate those costs, try to get the tours rescheduled in such a way that there's not additional costs if possible. In other words, if we plan it for a year out, not to increase the original price of the tour. And some of the companies have some pretty strict deadlines, so the goal would be to try and get those scheduled as soon as possible. For the most part, we have heard from families for several weeks now that they're uncomfortable with June tours, not knowing what the situation will be in June. And quite frankly, our teachers are feeling the same way. So I'm working with the tour companies to try and determine exactly how much would be lost if a family decides to cancel, and what the options are if we do reschedule for families. Whether one of the things that has come up has been regarding seniors. We do have a few seniors on some of these tours, and looking at whether or not the tour company and the district would allow seniors who would then have been graduated a year previously attend those tours. So those are just some of the things that we're working through and trying to figure out.
All right, anybody have any questions about any of this for Gina?
Oh,
Everyone's good. I would just reading Janice's communication to the kids at North today and all the families, she reiterated something that Hank had said, which I thought kind of applies to this too, because it's a difficult situation. No doubt some parents and families are going to maybe lose a little bit of money on this. But the idea that all we can ask is for everybody to do their best and extend grace and forgiveness to ourselves and to others when things might not go as well as we would have liked. And I think this is certainly one of those situations. So thank you for all the hard work, Gina, trying to do the best for our families on this. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Moving on to item E then, DGEA contracts, Hank.
All right, well, we're in the final step of a contract with our teachers union, that's the DGEA. We have been working with them very collaboratively for almost a year and a half now to reach this point. This has been an interest-based style bargaining where both the teachers union and the board and administration put all of their priorities up front to begin with, and the goal was to accomplish all of those priorities, and we really have. The result is a teacher's contract that is very student-centered. There's a lot of improvements that match up exactly with what the board's goals are for the district. Really some advancements, especially in the area of potentially growing our dual credit programs and finding ways to respond to specific individual student needs during the school day, which we're really excited about. I've shared many documents with the board leading up to this, including correlating the contract against board goals. Mark and I put together a video that explained the finances to the board and really going through the contract priorities and outcomes, as well as the tentative teachers agreement that has all of the language in it. This contract fiscally stays within the district's revenue stream and contains a clause in there that if the district is unable to fully levy on a yearly basis, that the teacher contract cost of living would be prorated to match the amount that we could levy. So there's protections in there for teachers, there's protections in there for the board and the community. We believe overall it is a great contract for both and is a real big win. It is a 5-year contract. So with that being said, the board has seen a lot of stuff at this point. What I'd like to know is if any board members need to discuss this any further and close this evening, or if everybody feels like they have gotten all the information that they needed from the administration before tonight.
Anybody have any questions, comments?
No, Hank, I thought the video today was very helpful in understanding the financials, which answered all the questions I had. So I have no questions after seeing the video, and thank you very much for putting that together.
All right, that being said then, we're going to forego the closed session, and then we will move up the DGA contract votes to item 6B. So we'll go through the recommendations for action. 6B will be the DGA contract vote for approval of that contract. And then after that, it'll be reception of visitors and then adjournment. Thank you, board.
Very
Glad
good.
we were able to answer all of your questions in advance.
Yeah, you sure did. I shared with Hank earlier all the documentation that we had on this and looking at it from every which way and how things align with our goals, and it just for me it was really helpful. I think this is my third time with something like this. Terry, I think this is your fourth, and this is
counting?
Right. But this was just really well done, and the contract is just a win-win it's so important, to have this sort of stability. And so I just thank you so much for all your hard work and the work that the entire team did. I just, just looking through all the paperwork that you've shared with us and the time it took to put that together is impressive. And then there's hours and hours and hours behind that. So thank you. Thank you for that, Hank and team.
Yeah, negotiating a contract has taken literally hundreds of hours over a year and a half to get to this point. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank both the DGA negotiating team, their group that put in a lot of time and effort. The way this was set up was a lot of committee work. So a lot of the folks on both negotiating team and then the board's negotiating team, the group of administrators there spent, once again, hundreds of administrative hours working on that. And then many of our administrative teams from the buildings were involved in committee work as well. So a lot of time and effort involved. The DGA was amazing to work with on this. There was really no us against them the whole time. It was all of us trying to find creative ways to get everybody's goals accomplished. So a very positive bargaining session all the way through from beginning to end. So
This is really going to benefit our community and all of our students. So thank you again. So reception of visitors, item number 7.
recommendations for action.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We do those
Sorry.
for.
I'm zooming along too fast here. We have first, we need an approval of textbook recommendations, a motion for the Board of Education to approve the textbook recommendations for the 2020-2021 school year as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second, and can we have a roll call, please?
That was Terry and Sherelle to confirm.
Correct.
Thank you. Terry Pavasich,
Aye.
Sherelle Fuller,
Aye.
Dan Nicholas,
Aye.
Rick Pavanato,
Aye.
Joanna Vasquez Drexler,
Aye.
and Mike Davenport.
Aye. Motion passes. Next, we need a motion for the Board of Education to approve the lowest acceptable bid for tennis court resurfacing at North High and award Abbey Paving Company a contract of $262,000. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second the motion.
I'm sorry, who was the second, please?
Terry and
Joanna.
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 Very much. Terry Pavasich,
Aye.
Joanna Vasquez Drexler,
Aye.
Sherelle Fuller,
Aye.
Dan Nicholas,
Aye.
Rick Pavanato,
Aye.
and Mike Davenport.
Aye. Motion next, we need an approval for the Associate Superintendent of Student Learning to reschedule previously board-approved educational tours to new dates when no class days will be missed. If class days will be missed, the tour will be brought back to the board for approval.
So move.
Second. Thank you.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Joanna Vasquez Drexler,
Aye.
Sherelle Fuller,
Aye.
Dan Nicholas,
Aye.
Terry Pavasich,
Aye.
Rick Pavanato,
Aye.
Mike Davenport.
Aye. Motion is approved. And the last action item, approval of the contract for the years 2020 through 2025 between the Downers Grove Education Association and the Board of Education of Community High School District 99.
So moved.
Second motion.
Terry Pavasich,
Aye.
Joanna Vasquez Drexler,
Aye.
Sherelle Fuller,
Aye.
Dan Nicholas,
Aye.
Rick Pavanato,
Aye.
Mike Davenport.
Aye. Motion is approved.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thanks, Hank. And the
Thank you.
team.
It was obvious a lot of work went into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Our next meeting is going to be
Wait,
the
we have
board-
second reception of visitors.
Reception of visitors.
sorry. I turned the page on my agenda.
That's all right. We
well,
went a little out of order there. We do
Yeah.
have one comment that came in from Andrew Smith. He says, "Hi, I really like this and want more." So the Board of Education has a fan club.
Thank you.
All
Andrew.
right.
Nice.
That is our only reception of visitor reception.
All right. Thanks, Hank.
Thank you, visitor.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew, our biggest fan. So our next meeting will be the board's scheduled business meeting on April 20th at 6:30 p.m. And we're going to be doing this the same way. Here on Zoom.
It
And,
will also be a virtual meeting, and it will be broadcast live on the district's YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/CSD99media. And once again, the day of the board meeting, the reception of visitors form will be open, and those can be recorded at bit.ly/D99-VOE-public-comments. All of this information is posted on the district's website in advance.
very good. So how about a motion to adjourn from somebody?
So moved.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Meeting adjourned.
Before
You
everybody
all
goes,
be well, stay
Before-
well.
Yes,
Before everybody
stay
goes-
safe, everyone.
thank you, everybody, and thank you for modeling this. This is, as Haley said, this is how our students and teachers are working. So it's wonderful to see our board stepping out and doing something new, just like the kids and teachers are. So
Hey.
thank you. Have a good night.
You
Stay
too.
healthy, everyone.
All right.
Yes,
Be
Night,
well.
everyone.
Night. Stay healthy and enjoy the weather.
yes, will
Yeah.
do. You
Bye-bye,
too.
y'all.
All right, guys, take care.
Bye-bye.